Welcome everyone. Welcome to this webinar about string inverter quality and reliability. I'm Niklas, CTO at Sinovoltaics Group in Hong Kong. And with me on this webinar today is also my colleague Benoit from Shanghai. We have a very large audience today, and welcome more than 100 attendees from across the globe, including from countries such as Finland. I see here people from Netherlands, Belgium, Israel, Spain, Germany, Poland logging in. So we have a very broad and international audience. Very happy to see every one of you here today and at this webinar. It's a great pleasure to have you all up here today. And as a special guest today, we have Federico Feuchter from company Sangro. Federico, a warm welcome to you.
Hi, thank you. I'm very happy to be here, and yes.
We're also very glad to have you on this webinar today. And I'm sure there will be plenty of questions for you today. So let me pull up the, so back to this our presentation today. Our aim is to keep the time within an hour. So the webinar is about 40 to 45 minutes with additional 10 to 50 minutes of question answers. When you have questions, then please send it here on the chat, and we will try, of course, to answer as many as we can. The webinar comprises actually two parts. So Sinovoltaics will start today with a brief introduction on some common challenges on inverter quality and the essentials of proper inverter manufacturer qualification and the thorough quality assurance program. After that, Federico, it will be your turn, and you will speak about inverter quality and reliability from a manufacturing perspective, and also outline the Sangro setup and approach to deliver reliable and quality PV inverters. And then we have a final Q&A after these two presentations. Now, we have here a brief introduction about Federico, also on the slide. He will speak more about himself later on. And we start with the first part now. So very brief introduction about our company. Sinovoltaics is a quality assurance and technical compliance consulting firm specialized in the technical de-risking of solar photovoltaic and energy storage equipment manufactured in Asia for PV projects, energy storage projects worldwide. We are headquartered in Hong Kong, and we have a team of accredited auditors and quality engineers at the major PV and BESS manufacturing hubs and shipping ports in East Asia and Southeast Asia. Our scope of work and extensive track record also covers the quality assurance of PV inverters. And furthermore, we publish every quarter our inverter manufacturing ranking report, in which we assess the financial health of inverter manufacturers around the world, which is helpful for assessments in terms of product warranties. Now, diving into the risk management practices, so when we speak about inverter reliability and quality, we want to understand the common challenges and corresponding risk management strategies for project developers, operators, and financiers. It is still common, actually, even in 2022, that in terms of quality, most attention is being paid to the PV modules. Also, given, of course, the major share in the overall hardware equipment cost of a PV project. But yeah, nevertheless, the inverters being actually the operating heart of a PV plant are of essential importance, and its underperformance or even non-performance can pose a substantial drag on the overall operation of the respective array and the plant as a whole. Performance and reliability issues in the field and the costs associated with rectifying these deficiencies after plant commissioning have in recent years led to an increasing incorporation of inverter quality assurance requirements in the scope of work of many project developers, as we have witnessed. Faulty plant design and installation issues aside, inverter quality and reliability is significantly determined by its design and workmanship. So one example of common problems observed in the field concerns overheating. So this can be triggered by the assembly of heat-sensitive components whose ratings are not compatible with the inverter's operating temperatures, and which may, under such circumstances, then prematurely age and fail. So catching on these problems early on is, of course, of critical importance. The challenge hereby lies actually in identifying not only the right product, means the appropriate inverter model based on its design and performance, and of course the PV project site conditions, but also actually the right manufacturer. Project track records and bankability aside, there are substantial differences in the manufacturing setup of different manufacturers, ranging from varying degrees of automation, quality control procedures, to production and testing equipment calibration, and thus consequently the reliability of FAT data that many buyers rely on. So qualifying the prospective maker of the chosen inverter is therefore of essence, and to ascertain the environment it is being manufactured has, of course, that it has the proper setup and conditions in place. So such manufacturer qualifications should certainly involve not only the auditing of the correct implementation, execution of quality, environmental management systems, and the review of the manufacturer's internal quality testing protocols, but also very much the assessment of the manufacturing setup and processes at the manufacturer. So this helps to check for issues such as the proper connection of machines, tools and tables to the functional grounds, implementation of ESD protective measures, and proper calibration and setting of testing equipment, such as, for example, appropriate environmental conditions setup, in order to obtain conclusive results from the continuous aging tests. Furthermore, with OEM subcontracting also ripe, actually among inverter manufacturers, the importance of pre-production factory audits that qualifies the suitability of the very workshop that is scheduled or planned for the production of your inverter, this cannot be emphasized enough. Aside from the proper qualification of the inverter supplier and specifically the corresponding workshop product, producing your inverters, once a supplier has been audited and selected, proper quality risk management of the inverters should also involve an ongoing quality assurance program on site to identify and correct issues early on before an inverter is shipped to the project site. Such scope includes predominantly on-site production monitoring and final test witnessing. Thorough on-site production monitoring covers the whole production run from incoming material checks and PCB, screen printing to SMT and THT, up to the final coating and the inverter chassis assembly. So basically the full scope of the production run. And this is particularly crucial where there are manual steps involved in the production process. Ensuring, for example, that proper IQC is performed on the sensitive components so that they meet workmanship and mechanical specifications, and also proper calibration of the production equipment, including manual tools such as torques, can help to prevent issues in the field, as mentioned earlier. During final acceptance testing, which especially in largely automated production runs is an almost fully integrated process, it is important to ensure not only the proper testing setup, and parameters corresponding to your inverters, as well as applicable environmental conditions are met. And our team observed in quite a few instances initial deviations on this front, for example, during continuous aging tests. But it's also, of course, to actually access and check the very test results to ascertain a pass or fail. It is often so that buyers receive long sheets and tables showing pass results for the test inverters. So the actual results or data behind these results triggering the very pass, triggering the pass of the test inverter are not included, are not shown. So it's quite unclear why an inverter has basically passed a certain test. So this should, of course, also be part of a good QA program, that the underlying data of the FAT test results are included as well. And finally, as an additional quality assurance layer to confirm the performance, quality, and reliability of an inverter, selected inverter samples can be subjected to specific reliability tests with accredited laboratories. A common inverter lab test, for example, is to measure the conversion efficiency under different loads, and depending on the project needs and requirements, then both for static and dynamic MPPT efficiency. Now, departing from the perspective of a PV and ESS specialized risk management company, I'd like to hand over the word now to Federico Feuchter from Sungrow. Federico, please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. Yes, so today I would like to speak with you about why Sungrow is a partner you can trust from a reliability and, of course, from a quality perspective. My presentation is divided, let's say, in three main sections. The first one would be a very short introduction to the company for those of you that might not. I'm sure you know the name. Sungrow is a big name in the industry, but maybe you don't know a lot about what we do, in which fields of actions we are, when we were founded, how we have been growing. So I would like to share a couple slides on this topic for you to have a broader idea of who is Sungrow and what we can do for you. And then second part is focused on, let's say, the perspective of reliability, not only from a specific manufacturing perspective, but also from a corporative structural. No? Because, well, we will see more in detail in the next slides, but in the end, of course, the manufacturing is very, very important, but there are other fields involved in the developing of a product where a strict quality assurance and also a well-structured company can offer you many advantages. So therefore, I will, let's say, broaden the scope a little bit and not only speak about our factory itself. And then the third part is focused mostly on quality assurance and processes, manufacturing one of them, but also a couple more for you also to show you examples of Sungrow, what is Sungrow doing to support you and to give you the confidence to use our products in all your projects. A quick word about myself. My name is Federico Feuchter, as already introduced. I am the, let's say, regional manager for technical solutions for the area of Southern Europe, France, UK, Ireland, Greece, and CIS region. I was recently appointed in January, substituting my older colleague, Javier Blanco, who did an excellent job in the past, and he is now also in another position inside Sungrow. I have a master's degree in renewable energy management from the University of Freiburg in Germany, and I am an electronic engineer. I have an electronic engineer degree from a Mexican university, and I've been in the solar industry very actively since 2009, when I started my master. I have experience at other inverter manufacturers, like Ingeteam, and I also have some experience. Okay, sure, I can. you will maybe watch me a little bit from the side, but I'm sorry, because I need to use my big screen, otherwise I cannot see very well. Anyway, as I was saying, I have, let's say, a broad experience in solar, working in different companies. I started my career as a field service engineer. Now I am focused on the, let's say, pre-sales focus from a technical perspective. I've been in Songro for almost 5 years. I started as a product manager in Germany, working closely with the Eastern European countries, the Nordics region and Germany. And since October 2020, I moved to the Southern Europe office here in Pamplona in Spain. And as I said, since January, I took over the regional management for technical solutions here for these mentioned regions. No? So going back to my presentation, let's get into topic. Story. So Songro was founded in 1997 by Professor Cao Renxian. He was a university professor of the local Hefei University, and he started his company mostly as a project for developing off-grid inverters for the local villages around Hefei. So it was a very, let's say, selfless driven initiative, but due to the interest and success, at some point they, let's say, spin-off from the university, and he founded a proper company. Since then, he has always been very, let's say, R&D focused, and it has been growing and growing every year. Songro in 2006 started their, let's say, globalization process, entering markets outside of China. Being one of its first markets, actually Europe. They started installing projects in Germany, in Spain, and in Italy, even in Greece. You can see some old inverters laying around. And still running well, which is the most important, of course. In 2011, it was listed in the Shenzhen Bourse, and since then, it's been growing exponentially every year. So currently, as of today, 2022, we have presence in more than 150 countries around the world, with more than 20 local subsidiaries founded and more than 50 service, let's say, outlets or offices. We have deployed more than 224 gigawatts worldwide in inverters. Only in 2020, we shipped around 35 gigawatts. We calculate our market share to be around 27%, which is, that means that 1 of every 4 inverters installed worldwide is a Songro inverter. So you can have a picture of how big and how important Songro for the industry is. We have been ranked 100% bankable for 3 years in a row by Bloomberg, and as we have very healthy finances and revenue, and etc. No? Next slide. So what we do, where are we, and what are we, let's say, projecting for the near future? So Songro is still mainly focused on PV inverters. Then in, I don't know the exact date, it was maybe around 5-6 years ago, we started also a joint venture with Samsung to develop energy storage systems. So Songro was in charge of building the PCS and the hybrid inverters and the DC-DC converters, etc. And then Samsung would integrate the batteries. Due to some situations, the joint venture didn't develop as expected. And last year or 2 years ago, something like this, Songro actually acquired the control of the joint venture. So right now, Songro is also a supplier of energy, the complete solution for energy storage solutions. And then we have also a division for project development in China and Southeast Asia. We have also developed of wind energy converters. Oh, right now, 1 second. We have some works in the office, and I requested maybe if they can pause for a while, otherwise it's going to be too noisy. as I was saying, we have the wind converter. This is also a division that is right now only working in China. Then we have a new division for electronic vehicles and charging. We are planning to expand into Europe with this division soon. And we have also the floating PV systems. Songro has a division that develops and manufactures the whole structures for floating PV, which is also one of our divisions that it's currently growing in a very healthy rate, right? Mm-hmm. So when we focus directly on PV, which is still our main business, PV and ESS, we can offer you products in the whole range of solutions and possible projects, no? Starting with small residential inverters in the order of 2 kilowatts up to 20 kilowatts, and the same for hybrid inverters for residential purposes. Then we have also products in the order of 30, 40, 50, 100 kilowatts for the, let's say, commercial and large industrial, or more to say, large commercial and industrial applications. And of course, our strongest point, which is utility interfaces. We have central inverters and string inverters suitable for all kind of projects worldwide. So performance, no? This is what I was mentioning in my first slide. Songro has been having an exponential growth, a very healthy growth, since it went into the Shenzhen bourse in 2011. Here we can see from 2011 to 2017, more or less, we basically doubled our revenue every year, also, and doubling the shipments. Then, of course, 2019 to 2017, 2019, there was this shortage of components in China, then the start of the COVID crisis, and et cetera, et cetera. So we stayed stable, still growing, but but stable, not so exponential. And then again, 2020, with the let's say with the return of business, we again doubled our capabilities worldwide. Actually, in 2019, Songro was the first inverter company to hit the 100 gigawatt milestone of delivered inverters worldwide. And you can see how quickly we are growing, that actually today, 2022, we already delivered more than 220 gigawatts. So talking about the exponential growth. So if we go into reliability, why can you trust Songro? Well, as we said, Songro is a big company, if not the biggest inverter company in the world. And that translates in a lot of areas and a lot of processes inside the company where the quality and the reliability must be taken into hand. No? So first of all, you can trust Songro because Songro is bankable. Songro is the most bankable inverter brand in the world. I think it's the only one that is actually ranked 100%. That means that for your financing, if you go to a bank, Songro will be always accepted with good eyes. No? So you can trust this part in Songro because Songro is a very healthy company with a very and with a very, let's say, sustainable and profitable growth. As I showed you in the previous slide, Songro has had a revenue increase of 42% from 2010 to 2020. So Songro will be around for many, many years, and you can trust Songro to be your partner on your projects. Then manufacturing factory. Songro has the largest inverter factory in the industry with a capacity of more than 90 gigawatts production capacity yearly. What can I say? We have a very, very big factory. It's based in Hefei. We do everything ourselves. We don't have any outsourced process by any, let's say, third-party companies. Everything is controlled and produced inside the Songro facilities. We have the largest factory in Hefei, still producing most of our inverters, but we also have a 10 gigawatt factory in India, focused on the Indian market, and we also are launching a new factory in Thailand which will supply mostly to the US market due to the tax restrictions implemented by the US government. No? We have a 6 gigawatt hour storage capacity, and we have a 6 gigawatt hour lithium ion battery production. So we get the cells from different manufacturers, and we integrate in our factory the let's say the battery, the rack, the container, up to the complete solution for energy storage projects. Then this is probably one if not the strongest core principle of the company, and also one of the things that I like most about Songro. As we said at the beginning, Songro was founded by a professor, a scientist, and he is still today actively involved in the R&D processes of the company. The R&D personnel of the company is around 40% of the total personnel of the company. So we have many people focused on developing, on optimizing, on improving or family of products to always be, let's say, innovative and be the first one to introduce you with the, let's say, new features that the market is requesting of us. For example, in 2021, Songro invested almost 9% of its total revenue in R&D, which is a very big number. And just to give you an idea of how big or how serious we are on R&D activities, as of today, we have more than 3,000 patents registered on the different fields of the company, no? Either charging or inverters or ESS or etc. No? Also, on the part of R&D, it's not only the power of our people, but it's also the power of our facilities. No, Songro invests good money in having top-notch or top of the industry facilities. Like for example, here, these are just some of the testing and developing resources that the company has. No, for example, we have the rooftop of our new factory, 5.5 megawatt solar range that we can use for, let's say, real in-field tests in real working conditions, not with simulators. We have a 10 meters anechoic chamber for EMC and noise tests, which I think is the biggest dedicated chamber in the industry. Then we have, for example, a 3 megawatt microgrid test platform for storage systems. We have also, let's say, this up to 35 kilowatts high voltage laboratories. And then more focus on strings, we have these thermal chambers, environmental safety to also run all these tests in-house. So we have also active cooperation with the different research institutes, not only in China, but also in other countries. For example, here at the University of South Wales, the cooperation with universities is always a good way to see the creativity, and we love to work also with the local research institutes. Songro is also very serious on the part of certifications and process implementation. I will go a little bit more in detail later, but this is just some of examples of which certificates we have and why it's important. Because of course, well-implemented processes and the presence of third-party certifications attest that the things that we are doing in Songro are well done, and that we are compliant also with the most strict grid codes or quality requirements around the globe. This is another slide similar to the one with the laboratories. This is a better picture of our anechoic chamber. As you can see, we can even fit central inverters. But what I wanted to say in this slide actually was that our testing laboratory is IEC 1705 certified, which means that we are actually in capacity to test for others. But in reality, we have so much work that we only do it for ourselves. But it also gives us flexibility, because since our laboratories are 1705 certified, when we have to test an equipment, we can actually invite the certifiers to come to our laboratories. They, of course, audit our certificates, they audit our testing equipment, and yes, also it makes faster everything, no? So to do it in-house. So Q&A, this is also, well, it's mostly what we came here to talk about. This slide is only to show you that Songro is involved in the whole process of the value chain. That means that it's not only the factory that is well implemented and well processed and everything, but it's also the whole company value chain, no? So we start on the pre-sale phase with customer audits. We're always open to have customers in our factory to audit us. We have well-established processes, for example, contract review. We have well-established processes for the life cycle management of the whole inverter chain, since the beginning, R&D, up to the supply and service, customer service. They have also other areas inside the company, sustainable development, documentations, etc. No? Then we have this in-sale process, which includes FAT testing, like we mentioned in the presentation from the group of Sinovoltaics. We have processes implemented for traceability, for the upgrade of our platforms to keep our certifications and calibrations always up to date, compliance with the global grid codes, proper parameterization, etc. And then we have, of course, the after-sale phase, which is mostly the customer service area. So we had also well-implemented processes for follow-up of issues on the field, root cause analysis, quality reports, derived from this root cause analysis or other situations on the field. No? And then, last but not least, our global service network. You can trust on us to give you the proper service and the proper support once your project is installed. As I said at the beginning, we already have more than 150 clusters of service between Songro personnel and authorized service partners. We have more than 60 warehouses worldwide with spare parts. And yeah, Songro is a very, let's say, service-oriented company, and you can always reach us to give you the support you need. So globally, I introduced a couple slides just to show you where we are and where we can support you. These are, let's say, our active regions right now, where we have offices. And on a European level, I think most of the people here are from Europe. On a European level, we have already 12 established local teams in all the countries listed here, UK, Netherlands, or Benelux region, Nordics region, which is in Denmark, our office, I think, Poland, Ukraine. Right now it's a bit difficult, but we also have office in Ukraine, Romania, Turkey, Greece, Israel, Italy, Spain. Anywhere you can reach our colleagues and get support for your projects. No? We have two main warehouses and training academies, and actually we have three. We have one for storage in the United Kingdom and two for PV, one in Spain, one in Germany. In Spain, we focus on central inverters, and in Germany, they focus on string inverters. Although we can also do the trainings for string in Spain. And then we have more than 10 subsidies, offices, I would say offices. Yeah, quality management. I like to call this a company inside the company, because the quality management system, this is the second part of my presentation. So we close the part of reliability as a whole company, for the whole company. And now I will focus a little bit on the quality management system. I don't have that much time, but so I will go a little faster. This is more, but this is, to be honest, a very thick subject. No, we can talk about quality management system for days. There are so many processes, there are so many regulations, certifications, etc., etc. So what I will try to do is just to show you in which areas also we are very, very focused, and maybe a couple examples of what we do in each area, or for you to see that it is serious and that we are in every step of the chain. So first, a little bit on the philosophy. That's why I was saying that it's a company inside a company. The quality department has their own vision, mission, culture inside the company. No, so the company, of course, has a broad vision, and then the quality area has its own defined strategies and vision, mission, etc. No, so first of all, the Songro strategy on a quality perspective or a quality philosophy is to pursue excellent quality and continue to meet and exceed the customer expectations. By means of non-stopping innovation, the continuous improvement, the service, etc. No? So, and the main goal in the end is to do it right the first time. So in the quality management system or in the quality management structure inside Songro as a company, we have three core activities for this department. No? We have the life cycle quality management, which starts with the R&D process and ends with the customer service, including the supply chain and the production of the equipment. No? Later, I will focus a little bit in this part. And then we have the second core activity, which is the pursuit of innovation and quality continuous improvement. And then we have sustainable development, which for Songro, at least, being a green company and committed to a green goal for the future, it's also a very, very, very important area of the company. How can we achieve these high levels of quality that all of you, of course, are expecting from us? Well, the first goal or the first strategy is to follow the international standards and the well-known and established quality processes inside these standards. To be honest, we in Songro, we are not intending to invent the wheel. These processes, these standards, these certifications exist for a reason. And this reason is to give confidence to the customers that the things are getting done in the right way. And therefore, the first step for us is to implement all these processes properly. So in each field, we can see here in the presentation that we are following this kind of processes. No? For example, the ISO 9001 is probably the most famous one on quality management. But we also have others like the 17025, which is for testing and the calibration of the laboratories. Then, of course, SA 8000 for social accountability, the 14001 for environmental management, etc., etc. No? And then inside all these processes, we have many other tools which help us to implement all these features. To be honest, I'm not the biggest quality expert, so I could not even say what of each of these abbreviation mean. But for any one of you in the audience that it's maybe a quality, I don't know, a green belt or black belt, something like this, you are very familiar with all this, and you can see that we are very serious and we are implementing all kinds of tools to reach our goals on quality. No? When we talk about the life cycle quality management, as I was saying, at this point of the presentation is getting a bit thick, but I want to show you just a couple examples, really quick examples. No? So inside the life quality management system, which is the core of from R&D up to the customer service of the whole value chain, we are divided into 4 sub-processes. No? So we have the R&D process, we have the supply chain quality management, which is, of course, translates on how or what we demand from our suppliers in order to integrate the best possible inverter. We have production process quality management, which is, let's say, the manufacturing part. And the final part would be customer service. No? So I will not go inside every one of these bullets because then we will never be finished. But I will show you just one quick example for each of one. No? For example, in terms of R&D, we have a very well introduction process or a very well adapted process on how we do the integrated product development. No? So how we start, how it goes on, how we pass from the product level to the project level implementation, so from R&D to actually developing a product, to building the prototypes, to test, and up to being a released product, there are all well-structured processes that guarantee that the quality of the product. No? Then, for example, on supply chain, well, first of all, quality is the let's say the heaviest part of the points to be assessed to our suppliers, but we also value delivery, technology, price. But quality will always be the most important point for suppliers to comply with, and that includes like the EHS. We also audit our suppliers, etc., etc. No, so like this. And then, as you can see here, we have also very well structured processes to assess our suppliers and make the proper risk assessment on the value chain to choose and use the best possible components. For example, I see a question here on it's been lying around about the IGBTs, or if we have blacklisted an IGBT supplier. Until today, we have worked mostly with Infineon as our IGBT supplier, and the experience has been quite good. It's still our main supplier for IGBTs today, and I don't think we have a blacklisted company as such. But of course, inside all these processes, we evaluate the best option for us, and from a quality perspective and all the other fields that we were checking in the last slide. Today, still Infineon is one of our biggest suppliers, but in the near future, we are planning to cooperate with also other suppliers, like Fuji, for example, I think. But in general, we are always looking for the best in the industry, and that's why we're having good experience with IGBTs, I think, today. Yes. This is also an example on the control of the production processes for our factory. We have a highly automated factory, but for example, for the centrals, we still have some processes that need to be performed by hand or by manual labor. And so we have a very well structured and digitalized monitoring of the whole process and of the quality implementations, which can be always accessed in real time by our quality engineers, and translating then in the best possible product. No? So it starts with the planning to productions, to the development of the Kanbans, personal management, etc., etc. No? This is also an example of an implemented process on customer services. No? So when a failure comes, what we do, how we analyze the issue, what we should do, how, and then solve those processes well defined as required by standardization and certifications. No? Then, well, this is the part of the life and quality, life cycle management cycle, but we have the other two activities, which are innovation, quality innovation, and sustainable development. So, for example, here, one quick example, we try to organize activities with our employees in order to, let's say, internalize the importance of quality, and so we have skill competitions, we have excellent quality awards, the rationalization proposals, etc. And finally, on sustainable development, well, Songro is a very compromised company in this field. So we have a proper implemented social responsibility strategy for the company, where we take into account our stakeholders, the environment, the clients, the employees, and every year we published a report on this field. Then Songro got in 2021 their first ESG rating, which translates in environmental, social, and governance risk assessment with a very good AA grade. So this is very good news. This is also one of many things that can give you confidence on why Songro is a good partner. And finally, also in 2020, Songro joined the RE100 initiative, where we compromised to be 100% renewable on the year of 2028. So Songo is very committed with the environment. I see here a question: could an inverter last 20 years for you? Yes, actually they could. Inside of our let's say development process, we do something that is called MTBF, which is mean time between failure, which is a mathematical assessment of the components with a specific algorithm, which is also defined in a standard, where we calculate more or less, depending of the components and depending of the lifetime of the components that the suppliers report to us, we can calculate the expected lifetime of the inverters. And today, the expected lifetime of an inverter is in the order of 35 years, more or less. According to these calculations. So 20 years is totally possible to be like this. Yes. Well, with this last slide, I finished my presentation. So I think now we are open for Q&A session. I hope we still have some time. And sorry, I extended a little bit more than I expected.
Yes, thank you, Federico. This was a very interesting presentation, and it shows the broad scope of Sungrow's portfolio and R&D capabilities and in-house reliability testing and research cooperations. Which in terms of quality and reliability is very important. So now we have still a few minutes left for Q&A. So I will pull up a few questions. So here, that's for you, Federico. I think.
Sure. I see here. Let me go to the question section.
Is there any delay that can be expected in the upcoming quarter because of chip shortage?
No, not really. Well, at least from the Songrow perspective, we are well equipped and we planned for this. So the chip shortage is not affecting us that much. Actually, we have more delays due to COVID crisis and the lack of containers. So we are facing more delays due to delivery times than as of access to components, to be honest.
Okay. Then this question answered. I'll see another question. Yeah.
Can you share some insight into impact of high DC-AC ratios on inverter lifetime expectancy? Well, from our point of view, or well, at least from my personal point of view, it should not affect the overall lifetime of the equipment because we have implemented already the proper safety, let's say, the proper safety, I lost the word. Well, the thing is that the inverter is designed to protect itself. No? So even with very, very high DC-AC ratios, the inverter will never exceed its maximum capabilities. No? And the IGBTs, which I would say is the most sensitive component, will never work on conditions where it should not work. So it will be difficult for the inverter to actually reduce its lifetime expectancy due to a high DC-AC ratio. Actually, the high DC-AC ratios is now very common in the industry. There are other components that are also sensitive, like the capacitors or the boost capacitors, etc. But they are also designed for this. I mean, our design at least is done under the expectation of high DC-AC ratios. And if you follow our maximum recommendation, I think you can be sure that the lifetime expectancy will remain as promoted.
Yes. Got you also a question from the Netherlands. How do you know if an inverter factory is of good quality? I think this is for us. So so of course it's a good question, and as I mentioned earlier, there is quite a difference among the overall setup of different inverter makers. So for example, the degree of from almost fully automated lines to rather largely manual production line of the quality control processes, and also there's difference in terms of the adherence to and implementation of the proper quality management system. I mean, Federico was already mentioning the quality management system and how much actually of a topic of itself it actually is for a company. So if it's, so then, and this is of course then, when it's properly implemented, it should be. So, and of course, there's also constant and dynamic changes happening, as there's of course also much pressure to decrease manufacturing costs. So in the end, it also has certain impacts on, of course, on certain quality control processes. In the end, to summarize this, it is important to qualify a factory, or specifically actually a workshop, which shall be used for the production of your inverters. This can be done, of course, through a thorough factory audit. There's companies like Sango, they have, of course, and also their scope for this. They are also used to this, and so we can as well implement it. So with an inverter manufacturer to assess the factory if it suits your requirements, and this can be followed by an ongoing quality assurance program implemented on the inverters produced for you. Yeah. Okay, maybe I have time for one more question. How much price increase can be expected in the next few months? For example, chip shortage, war and energy cost rises.
Well, I cannot give you an exact number. I don't have the let's say the projections in my hand right now. But what I can tell you that it is true that there is that the market right now is quite volatile. The depreciation of the euro is affecting the costs largely locally, in at least at the European level. And then shortage of materials and these things. Well, at least for shortage of materials, we are well prepared, we are well stocked. So this should not affect us mostly. But yeah, I would recommend you that if you have a project, close it soon, because I think prices are volatile, it's for sure, and then increases are expected. Yes, that is true. But I don't have numbers, to be honest. I cannot give you a number right now.
Okay. Great. Yeah, I think so. We are almost at the end of my webinar, and there's still a few more questions left, but we'll also address them after the webinar. So we'll get back to the remaining questions. First, again from our side, thank everyone for joining this webinar today, and of course a big thank also to Federico to be with us today and present here on this webinar. And we look forward to see you again next time on next webinar, and wish everyone a good day.
Yes, thank you all, and feel free to forward questions. If I cannot answer you, at least I will put you in contact with the right person to answer your questions or your demands. Thank you.
Yes, we see all the contact details here, so we'll be in touch. Thank you very much.
Visit Sinovoltaics.com to learn more.